Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty quick video of the buff sword deck. It's definitely a lot of fun, and when it goes off it is pretty nuts. I've really found it's only great against Rune, which is pretty slow and doesn't really do much other than use spells to remove things, so that's where this deck can really shine. Anything else seems to struggle a little bit, at least from what I'd play tested about with it. So the biggest kind of combos you can go for are getting some of these 3-drop 1/4s, so whether you're going for Old Maiden or the Shield Angel, even Angelic Knight isn't too bad if you can buff it up, taking advantage of things like Well of Destiny, Into the Looking Glass, Armored Stairs, just to really do anything you can. Looking Glass just helps you use Kiss the Princess, which is super effective card to use, and pretty much everything else is just a big buff set, so that's really all there is to it. You want to buff up, defend, and go face as much as possible, so we're going to get right into it and take a look. So these games are relatively fast after all. Sword in general is usually a pretty fast deck, so you will find most games will end around turn 5 or 6ish, with not too many more games going too long. But overall this was a pretty solid deck to play out, and it was a bit of fun to really get in with. So if you can get things like the Forged Weaponry onto a card, you can really start buffing out crazily, and that is honestly just the most fun I had with this deck, when you can just swarm and buff. But these videos, these ones in particular, are just a little bit of fun. They're not showing off the most competitive deck, and they're not showing off anything too crazy. It's just something that I thought was enjoyable, and I wanted to show you guys because it's just, like I said, a little bit of fun. It's also not too super expensive, which is nice. So if you are just looking for a little bit of a mess around, even though you may not get many wins, it's nice when you can pull off combos like this and really buff a card up. So getting this thing a buff to a 6/10 felt amazing, especially when it's got resistance to targeted spells and effects, meaning there aren't too many cards that this Rune player, being a spell boost, could really use on this card. And most of the followers won't be able to tank a 10 damage. So we get a chance to use a Forged Weaponry, will boost us right up to 10. Nice solid damage, only 4 health left, nowhere for them to go. Awesome little bit of fun. So I do apologize, this video is going to be so short, as I mean the only good matchup was Rune, and everything else you can pretty much get stomped by in Unlimited. It's a little bit of a disappointment, but it was still a lot of fun when you could pull off those combos, even if it was against Rune. Pretty much your only good matchup with this deck. And I mean, we've covered most of the competitive decks now, we've covered most of the interesting competitive decks at that, so I thought why not just hold off for a bit and do some fun decks for a while. We had Flame and Glass, we've done some other commander type decks, you know, we've pretty much just messing around at the moment until the new cards come out or we get some more big news. So I used the Assassin there as just kind of a bait. I wanted to just play it out and try and draw as much as I could, even though Kiss of the Princess would actually be really good for turning this 1/4 into a sword follower. In particular a commander, which Assassin can be used on. Luckily they didn't really do anything else, which gave this a really nice boost. Unfortunately, Rune doesn't seem to have many ways to deal with this. They would have been looking for an Owl and Windblast combination to really deal with it, but fortunately for us, they didn't have that. At least not that turn. So we are going to be able to buff this thing even further with an Evo, get it to 7 damage, throw an Assassin on it thanks to the Commander Transform effect of Kiss of the Princess, and go face for another 7 damage next turn. Pretty much no way to counter this card now, especially on turn 5. I mean, a ward would be their best bet, but even that probably wouldn't be enough considering we have an Evo point. It really wouldn't take us much to kill a ward off. And there is the Windblast. Looks like they did have the Windblast, just didn't use their cards efficiently. So I hope you guys did enjoy this shorter video, as it's getting hard to find interesting decks and to play interesting things, and this one was interesting enough that I definitely wanted to cover it, but not interesting enough that I could get enough wins or consistent wins to really show off this deck as a viable option. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe. You can find the deck list in the description below. As always, I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.